We are going live again. It's another exciting Wednesday night. I cannot wait to be hanging out with both of you again. Like, this has become one of the highlights of my week, seriously. Welcome to everyone that's joining us now or afterwards. I did get a lot of messages from people, which is really exciting to say. They couldn't watch while we were on last week, but they were able to catch it later, which is a lot of fun. So if you join us, whatever time, always let us know where you are joining in from. Is a lot of fun. We are going to have a blast together tonight, and we're in Galentine's mood, I guess, since we're hanging out here with the girls as well. We are going to talk about some of our favorite romantic scenes from Austen adaptations. So a little bit different. Last week we talked a lot about book side of things. So this week, let's take it over to the movie adaptation side. Mindy, we'll start off with letting you say a hello tonight, and you have to show us your shirt that you have on because I love when anybody has any good piece of Austen apparel.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Mindy Kilgrove Harris, and I have my Jane Austen Happy 250th Birthday shirt on this evening. So not only is it pink for the holiday, but we're representing our girls. So, and if you see me swatting flies or any kind of bugs tonight, I am outside in Florida this evening, coming to you from, well, my lanai.
We were begging you to go outside, so I'm happy that you made it outdoors for the rest of us to enjoy. I feel like we're in some warm weather. And Marigold, I think you and I are both freezing probably together tonight. So how are you doing this evening?
I am a little sore. I fell on the ice last night on the way home from work, and so I'm a little battered, but I am waiting for the warm weather because I'm done with the snow and the ice and the cold. I'm like, I'm ready.
I feel you. Hopefully this will warm your spirit tonight as we watch some amazing love scenes with our favorite Austen characters. Thank you, as always, to Mindy for putting together all the slides, and she put the clips in here for us to enjoy. And I think this is going to be, I wish I would have brought popcorn this evening, because as I was looking through the slides, I was like, this is the perfect like hang out and eat some popcorn sort of moment for us to have. Let me add this to this stage here, but we have, in honor of Valentine's Day, the most romantic scenes in Austen's work. And as always, this is just our opinion. We would love to know what are some of your favorites. What are your favorite adaptations, the ones that you watch over and over again? I never tire of watching Austen adaptations at all. What are some of before we get into the slides, Marigold, what's your top 3 that you can put on at any time and just like let it play in the background and enjoy?
I'm partial to 1995, both Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. And I'm actually liking the newest Emma lately a lot more. So I actually watched that, I think part of that again while I was looking for videos. Or little clips. I got myself caught up and I'm like, oh, I'm apparently watching the movie now. So like, oh, I think I like this one now more. So yeah. The new adaptations are getting to me. I do like them now.
Awesome. And Mindy, what are some of your go-to adaptations to watch?
For me, it's 1995 Pride and Prejudice. That's my sick day movie. If I'm sick, I just put the whole thing on and roll with it. So I'm with you, Marigold. That's my number 1. I think after being introduced to Love and Friendship by the two of you, I think that would fall in place with me too, as something from now on that I'll turn on when I need a good pick-me-up. But I also really, really loved Sanditon. So I've probably seen the first season of Sanditon a dozen times.
Oh, wow.
I really liked it.
I need to go back and rewatch it. I've only seen it one time. So I need to watch that one again.
I know. I feel the same. I haven't watched it since it first came out, but I did see like a clip. Again, when we're looking for clips, they had all of the clips and they watched that kiss. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to watch this whole season again.
I love it.
Melissa, what do you watch?
Northanger Abbey is when I rewatched that a ton. And I'm actually almost finished with the 95 Pride and Prejudice. I've been watching through it this week while I'm working. It's just such a great one to have on in the background. Emma, I love that. I've seen it so many times as well. Marigold, that's a great one. It's just such little pretty bits to see, and look at the set on that one. I love it. I want to live on that set for a couple days. That would be my Austen land. To go live it. Oh, and Austen Land is another one, not quite a adaptation from a movie, but I love watching Austen Land over and over as well.
I agree.
Oh, Chris loves Sanditon as a personal favorite. So Mindy, you've got a friend to watch Sanditon with.
Thank you, Chris. It's amazing.
I think maybe it's a little bit longer. That's why I haven't made it through, because the seasons feel more intimidating to start through all the episodes than just popping in a movie. That sounds very old of me, doesn't it? Popping in a movie. It's streaming now. I need to get with the times. VCR or DVD are obsolete.
I don't know.
Right.
I own, I think, 3 DVDs of the 1995 Pride and Prejudice because I had personal copies. I had copies that I took to school to use with my students. I mean, I've still got them.
Absolutely. Chris is ashamed of how many views she's had. Yeah. And they're so good. It's like we talked about, I sent out the article about rereading for the community today. As much as we love rereading, it's never a bad time to be rewatching an Austen adaptation. All right, we're going to test my tech skills tonight, and we're going to watch some of these clips together and enjoy them. And let's chat about it in the comments if you're joining us. We want to know your thoughts as we're going through as well. So without further ado, we will watch our first one here.
And if I had ever learned...
Let me see.
Oh, it was at the right spot. Go ahead and fast forward a minute. Yeah.
That's on
If you
me.
can. Sorry.
That's okay. Do you remember the timestamp?
Yeah, 56.
You had it all set, and I messed up your
It's all good.
carefully.
And if I had ever learned, I should be a true proficient. And so...
And do you mean to frighten me, Mr. Darcy, by coming in all this state to hear me? But I won't be alarmed. My courage always rises with every attempt to intimidate me.
I know you find great enjoyment in professing opinions which are not your own.
Your cousin would teach you not to believe a word I say, Colonel Fitzwilliam. That is ungenerous of him, is it not?
It is indeed, Darcy.
Impolitic, too, for it provokes me to retaliate and say somewhat of his behaviour in Hertfordshire which may shock his relations.
I am not afraid of you.
What have you to accuse him of? I should dearly like to know how he behaves among strangers.
First time I ever saw Mr. Darcy was at a ball where he danced only 4 dances, though gentlemen were scarce and more than one lady was in want of a partner. I'm sorry to pain you, but so it was.
I can well believe it.
I fear I am ill-qualified to recommend myself to strangers.
Shall we ask him why? Why a man of sense and education who has lived in the world should be ill-qualified to recommend himself to strangers?
I have not that talent which some possess of conversing easily with strangers.
I do not play this instrument so well as I should wish to. But I have always supposed that to be my own fault, because I would not take the trouble of practicing.
You're perfectly right. You've employed your time much better.
No one admitted to the privilege of hearing you could think anything wanting.
We neither of us perform to strangers.
What are you talking of? What are you telling Miss Bennet? I must have my share in the conversation.
As for the daughter, she is a pale, sickly creature with little conversation.
we can
and
stop
no
there, and then we
talent.
have to
I'm
go on
sorry
to the
be
next
hard on
one.
any of our sex, but there it is. Mr. Darcy shows no inclination for her and treats.
And then the next one was at 30 seconds, and these are they're together. That's why.
We good?
Mr. Darcy. Mrs. Collins and Maria just now gone into Hunsford Village with my cousin. You find me all alone this morning, Mr. Darcy.
No, I beg your pardon. I would not wish to intrude upon your privacy.
I was just writing a letter to my sister Jane in London, that is all.
Oh.
Mr. Bingley and his sisters were well, I hope, when you left London?
Perfectly, sir. Thank you.
I understand Mr. Bingley has not much idea for ever returning to Netherfield.
It is probable that he may spend very little time there in the future.
If he means to be there but little, it would be better for the neighborhood that he should give up the place entirely.
I should not be surprised if he were to give it up as soon as any eligible purchase offers.
Okay, we can stop there.
All right, and then next slide.
I feel like I have to explain though, because I know that those two in and of themselves are not super romantic, and this is something that I used to talk to my students about, and I would say what I love about these scenes is that Elizabeth says in order to become better at conversing with people, you have to practice. And then he practices. And that's what I think is so romantic, is that, this is super awkward. It's very obvious that both of them are having a difficult time keeping a conversation going. But the fact that he listened to her, he took to heart what she said, and then he made the effort to show up and try. I think that's just, makes my heart.
That's a great point. And I do love when she makes that comparison to, I have to practice the piano to get better. He really doesn't balk at the idea. He kind of just takes it and is like, yeah, okay, you're right. And then, yeah, great. Thank you, Teacher Mindy, for sharing your scenes. I love it. All right, are we ready to go on to the next one? And you let me know if I've moved it to the wrong spot or anything. Is this one?
Nope, you're good.
Fanny, I must confess something. I've loved you all my life.
I know, Edmund.
No, Fanny. As a man loves a woman. As a hero loves a heroine. As I've never loved anyone in my entire life. I was so anxious to do what is right that I forgot to do what is right. But if you choose me, after all my blundering and blindness, I'll be a happiness which no description could reach.
Oh, Edmund.
I didn't cut it off. Oh, there it goes. Sorry. I was going to say I didn't cut it off at the end. So
You're good. You're good. I love that smile to the camera.
Well, you know what I love about that scene is that, of course, is not in Mansfield Park.
Right.
It happens to be one of those cases where the adaptation just gets it right. It gives us as readers what we missed. because I think that's one of the biggest things that people talk about with Mansfield Park, isn't it? Where there's just not enough of the Fanny and Edmund love story or love scenes, but that one's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. They're so like they have the same energy. Like a lot of times we kind of see like competing energies like from each other, like Grumpy Sunshine, like that sort of thing. But the two of them are both so quiet and soft spoken. I think that's why it's hard to kind of connect with them at times, because like you need to bring a little life to it. But that scene does really capture the two of them really well. All right, let's go on to our next.
I do want you to be honest. So, tell me, have I no chance of succeeding? My dearest Emma, for that is what you always have been, and you always will be. My most beloved Emma. I cannot make speeches. If I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more. But you know what I am. I have lectured you and scolded you. And you have borne it as no other woman would have.
Can this be true?
You'll get nothing but the truth from me. So tell me what you think.
My Queen, I do not know what to think.
Marigold, I think both you and I picked that one, right? Wasn't that one you picked as well?
Yes, I did, because I just love that if I loved you less, I could talk about it more. That's like one of my favorites. I just love that line.
I realized that Emma's crying in every adaptation through the proposals. That's why Emma drives me a bit crazy. I'm like, oh, together, girl.
Well, see, and I was going to put the newer adaptation. That's why I was looking at it. But then I just can't get the nosebleed. I just tried.
I did the same.
One thing that drives me nuts, and I'm like, I can't look at it again.
Same for me. I was almost like, it kind of would make my list because I love that adaptation, but I can't do that scene.
Yeah.
All right, we have Mindy's.
So just a quick thing about Sanditon. I know the part that I wanted, but it was very, very difficult to find any clips from the first season of Sanditon. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe it's because it's relatively new. So this is going to play more like a compilation, and there's going to be some music in the background as well. But if you only want to let it play for maybe like the first 10 or 15 seconds, because that's the beautiful romantic part that I wanted to highlight.
Love it. You did such a good job finding these, so we appreciate any bits that we get to see.
I'm a great deal less than perfect, but for whatever it's worth, I believe I am my best self, my truest self, when I'm with you.
You are the everlasting. Sounds to me as if you are in love with him.
He's so quiet, but it's such an amazing sentiment that I really give credit to the people who wrote Sanditon, because this was not a scene, that Jane Austen had in her work. And yet we see our male hero just deliver one of those lines.
Yeah, it's very much in the spirit of so many of Austen's other heroes to like say that they can be themselves around the person that they're falling in love with. Obviously we see Darcy changing to be a little bit different version of himself, but to be himself in a better way. We saw Mr. Knightley, I am what you see is what you get kind of sentiment with him. And yeah, they did a good job with Sanditon and kind of capturing some of that same spirit within it. All right, Mindy, I'll rewatch it really soon. Okay, you got me convinced.
Okay, good.
I just wish it made he stayed on for the rest of it, because it was just like, oh, how could you leave? You're killing us.
I know. All right, let's go to our next one. Yes.
Dear Lord, if he cannot share a life with me, is it wrong to ask that he not share it with anyone? That we go on as we go on now.
She's so dramatic.
Him stopping by at any hour. Always the brightest part of our lives. A natural and easy member of the family. I would be content if he would just stay single, Lord. That's it. If he would just stay single, Lord, that would be enough for me to be perfectly satisfied. Almost. Amen.
Emma! Forgive me. I was lost in my thoughts.
And how are you? Happy?
Well, I'm happy to see you, as always.
I didn't know that you were back.
Just. Yes, just.
Yes. I'm on my way home.
I was just there. May I join you?
Of course. Oh, dear.
What?
What? Oh, something about the, deer we need for the, venison stew.
Uh-huh. Emma, there's something I have to ask.
Oh, wait. Now that you are back, there is some news that will surprise you.
Of what nature is this news?
The very best. It is a wedding between two people.
Oh, yes, between Jane and Mr. Churchill. Mr. Weston wrote to me.
Undoubtedly, you were not surprised.
Well.
But I seem doomed to blindness.
Time will heal your wound.
My wound?
I know you must have been cruelly disappointed by his secret. He's a scoundrel.
You are kind. But I must tell you that I quickly saw that Frank lacked qualities, honesty being one of them, which are essential to me in any kind of friend.
Emma, is that true?
He imposed on me, but he has not injured me.
Yes. He got everything he wanted at great expense to others and at no cost to himself. He offends me deeply. Yet there's something in his situation that I envy.
Did I mention that we are having a new drain installed?
You will not ask me the point of my envy. Well, perhaps you are wise. But I cannot be wise. Emma, I must tell you what you will not ask. Though I may wish it unsaid the next moment.
Then do not speak it. Do not commit yourself to something which may injure us both to have said.
Very well. Very well. Good day.
For him.
And he used to be like, no,
Right.
just let him talk.
I like that we got to like get into this scene a bit more.
Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley. I stopped you ungraciously just now and gave you pain. If you have any wish to speak to me openly about anything you might have in contemplation as your friend, I cannot refuse you. Indeed, as your old friend, I will hear whatever it is you wish to tell me.
Emma, you want our friendship to remain the same as it has always been. But I cannot desire that.
But why? I know I made mistakes, but had you been here the last few days, you would have seen how I have tried to change. Please, tell me I am your friend.
I do not wish to call you my friend because I hope to call you something infinitely more dear. Have you not wondered why I never befriended Frank Churchill? It was because I knew he was intended for you. Indeed, when you insulted Miss Bates at the picnic, I thought that evidence of his influence over you. And I could not bear to see it. So I went away. But I went to the wrong place. My brother's house is usually a place of comfort to me, but seeing your sister there kept you fresh in my mind. And the torture, I assure you, was acute. I only felt hope again when I heard of Mr. Churchill's engagement. And I rushed back, anxious for your feelings, keen to be near you. I rode through the rain. I'd ride through worse than that if I could just hear your voice telling me that I might at least have some chance to win you.
Mr. Knightley, if I have not spoken, it is because I am afraid I will awaken myself from this dream. It cannot be true. But I feel so full of error, so mistaken in my makeup to deserve you.
What of my flaws? I've humbled you and I've lectured you, and you have borne it as no one could have borne it. Maybe it is our imperfections which make us so perfect for one another. Marry me? Marry me, my wonderful, darling friend. Let's go to.
Oh my goodness. That was fun to get to see like the full thing of it. And Lizette commented, "That is love." It's so sweet. I love when she says, "If you would have been here the last few days, you would have seen how good I've been." Like, she's changed so much in a couple of days. Do you guys watch that adaptation very often?
I've never seen that one.
Oh, you've never seen that one?
I will
was
now. I will watch it now. I promise.
That was one I used to have on repeat quite a bit, but it's been years and years since I've seen it. Yeah, that's a.
I do like it, but they missed like that line that I like, and I'm like, why would you take that out?
Right. Who decided that?
I know. It's iconic. Come on.
All right, let's move to Sense and Sensibility.
Yes. I received a letter from Miss Steele, Mrs. Ferrers, I should say, communicating to me the transfer of her affections to my brother Robert. It seems they were much thrown together in London, and in view of the change in my circumstances, I felt it only right that she be released from our engagement. At any rate, they were married last week and are now in Plymouth.
Then you are not married.
No. Eleanor, I met Lucy when I was very young. Had I had an active profession, I should never have felt such an idle, foolish inclination. My behavior at Norland was very wrong. But I convinced myself that you felt only friendship for me, and that it was my heart alone that I was risking. I've come here with no expectations, only to profess, now that I am at liberty to do so, that my heart is, and always will be, yours.
The best thing about that scene is the wealth of talent on screen.
Yeah.
Legends, all of them. Just amazing actors and actresses there.
I love how they take such simple dialogue too, and it's like all in the emotions of how they're saying it that really grips you. And the soundtrack to that one, I don't know if you've listened to the full soundtrack, is amazing. It's so worth listening to. Anne says, I love Emma Thompson in this. She does such a good job, doesn't she?
Phenomenal. And you know, when she starts crying and the ladies get up and leave, I am so sorry for laughing then, but it is comic, isn't it?
It is.
It's so good.
Because usually you would expect them to stay and comfort her, but I think they know what's coming, and that's why they give them the privacy. I love it. I love everything about that scene.
And then they don't just like leave the room; they just leave the whole house. Because I mean, it's a small little cottage, but they're just like, let's just get out of here.
There's so many emotions going on in that one space in that moment. So good. All right, bear with us. We're getting to the end here. All right, we've got Persuasion. I think we have one more after this, right?
Miss Elliot, I can bear this no longer. You pierce my soul. I am half agony, half hope. Unjust I may have been. Weak and resentful I have been, but never inconstant. I offer myself to you again with a heart even more your own than when you almost broke it 8 years ago. I have loved none but you. You alone who brought me to Bath. For you alone I think and plan. Have you not seen this? I can hardly write. I must go uncertain of my fate. A word, a look will be enough. Only tell me that I am... Tell me not that I am too late. That such precious feelings are gone forever.
Why, Miss Elliot, you've just missed Frederick.
He has just gone to call upon you at Camden Place.
I love that she's running. This is exactly what I would be doing, by the way.
Too
Gotta
much
find
running.
him.
Desperation. I want him to get away.
I know she's supposed to be a proper lady, bless her, but she's running.
Charles!
Oh, good heavens, is anything the matter? Anne!
Thank you, Charles. I'm quite well.
You look quite done for. We shall have to get you home directly. The thing of it is, I ought to be in the marketplace now. The fellow there promised me the sight of a capital gun he's just sending off. Said he'd keep it unpacked till the last possible minute. If I do not cut along now, I shall miss out. You know, from his description, Wentworth, it sounds a good deal like that 16-bore Mortimer of mine you shot with that day round Winthrop. You remember? The London single long fowler with the walnut stock.
Captain, I am in receipt of your proposal, and I'm minded to accept it. Thank you.
Are you? Quite certain.
I am determined. I will. And nothing, you may be sure, will ever persuade me otherwise.
I know you said when you reread it, Marigold, you paid attention to how many times the word persuade or persuasion was used, and we get that there as well.
Absolutely.
They do a nice job adding that in. And I know that seeing it's like a lot of mixed thoughts because people are like, the kiss, it takes them too long. But I think it's like, I don't know, to me, it's like symbolism of their relationship is like gone, like it's been a long time, and like the tension of them finally getting back together. I think they were like representing that, and it wasn't just this rush kiss in that scene. How do you guys feel about it? Is it fine for you? Doesn't really matter.
I don't care for that one.
You don't like that one? I was wondering.
I don't like that adaptation. It reminds me of so Jane Eyre, one of the ones actually the same actor that was in the 95 that I do like, but it's just like an awkward kiss, and it makes me feel awkward. I don't know.
Fair enough. All right. We're winding down here, I promise. Do we have one more after this, or is this our last one?
There's this one, and then there's the 2005 Darcy proposal.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So I'll get to this one here. We have another persuasion perspective.
Dear Anne, I can listen no longer in silence. Anne, you pierce my soul. Dare not say that man forgets sooner than woman, that his love has an earlier death. I am half agony, half hope. I know you are to marry Mr. Elliot, but I will never forgive myself if I do not tell you this. You alone have brought me to Bath. For you alone I think and plan. But of course you have not seen this. How could you? Because your love has not lasted as long as mine. I have loved no one but you. And I don't think I ever will.
I can explain.
I wish you both every happiness.
I have thought many times about how to tell you this, but the pain of a love unrequited rendered me silent. Tell me not that I am too late.
Frederick!
My love for you has never faltered.
White sails and offshore lights, we were passing ships in the night, and I'm tracing shadows on your back like.
We see Anne has to rush every time to Wentworth, doesn't she? He's never right outside the door for her to get to him easily. All right, we'll wrap up.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh, I have another persuasion. Sorry. so many good versions of the letter. I think this is the same scene though.
Yes, that was one that I picked.
And then if you go one more, I think that's the last one there.
We'll end with this one, and then we'll circle back some of those other ones another night.
I have struggled in vain, and I can bear it no longer. These past months have been a torment. I came to Rosings with the single object of seeing you. I had to see you. I have fought against my better judgment, my family's expectation, the inferiority of your birth, my rank and circumstance, all these things, and I'm willing to put them aside and ask you to end my agony.
I don't understand.
I love you. Most ardently. Please do me the honor of accepting my hand.
Sir, I appreciate the struggle you have been through, and I am very sorry to have caused you pain. Believe me, it was unconsciously done.
Is this your reply?
Yes, sir.
Are you laughing at me?
No.
Are you rejecting me?
I'm sure that the feelings which, as you told me, have hindered your regard will help you in overcoming it.
Might I ask why with so little endeavour at civility I am thus repulsed?
And I might as well inquire why, with so evident a design of insulting me, you chose to tell me that you like me against your better judgment.
No, believe me, I
if
didn't
I
mean...
was uncivil, then that is some excuse, but I have other reasons. You know I have.
What reasons?
Do you think that anything might tempt me to accept the man who has ruined, perhaps forever, the happiness of a most beloved sister?
You can stop there if you want.
You deny it, Mr. Darcy.
Now.
I feel like there's such a big difference between the two adaptations and how he delivers those same lines. It's really fascinating to see their decision on how to say that. He's like the one, I think you, Mindy, when you talked about him kind of practicing ahead of time, we like have those scenes, and so he does appear like, even though it's rushed and you kind of get that like nerves feel, it's like very thought out. And then in the 2005 adaptation, it's very much like this just word dumping of this proposal that he's been thinking about. It's so rushed. You're trying to like process it yourself as he's saying it all.
No, I'm with you. I threw that last one in there, but I did also have the 1995 version, because that's the one I prefer with the proposal, because he's almost breathless, like he's panting. I have to tell you, it's so endearing and it's so sweet. But I think a lot of fans really do like the proposal there in the 2005. Maybe it's the rain. I'm not sure. But I've definitely have heard other people say that's their favorite scene.
Why don't we just take we're losing Mindy. Oh no. Hopefully she'll be back. Let's say, why don't we take a couple of seconds and we'll go back to the 95 and just end on that one, because what better way to close out the night? Let's see. There we go. Do we have Mindy back yet? We do not.
No.
We will see if I'll start it and we'll see if she joins us back again. Oops. Come on. Okay. Maybe the internet's going to tell us no. There we go. Oh.
I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. In declaring myself thus, I am fully aware that I will be going expressly against the wishes of my family, my friends, and I hardly need add my own better judgment.
So romantic.
I know.
The relative situation of our families is such that any alliance between us must be regarded as a highly reprehensible connection.
Way to win her over, Darcy.
Indeed, as a rational man, I cannot but regard it as such myself, but it cannot be helped.
Can't be helped.
Almost from the earliest moments of our acquaintance, I have come to feel for you a passionate admiration and regard, which despite all my struggles has overcome every rational objection, and I beg you most fervently to relieve my suffering and consent to be my wife.
Chris says, I love you dearly, but...
In such cases as these, I believe the established mode is to express a sense of obligation. But I cannot. I have never desired your good opinion, and you have certainly bestowed it most unwillingly.
Caroline says, such a
I'm sorry to cause pain to anyone, but it was most unconsciously done, and I hope will be of short duration.
It's like trying to process all this.
What do I do?
And this is all the reply I'm to expect. I might wonder why, with so little effort and civility, I'm rejected.
And I might wonder why, with so evident a desire to offend and insult me, you chose to tell me that you like me against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. Was this not some excuse for incivility if I was uncivil? I have every reason in the world to think ill of you. Do you think any consideration would tempt me to accept the man who's been the means of ruining the happiness of a most beloved sister? Can you deny that you have done it?
I have no wish to deny it. I did everything in my power to separate my friend from your sister, and I rejoice in my success. Towards him, I have been kinder than towards myself.
But it is not merely that on which my dislike of you is founded. Long before it had taken place, my dislike of you was decided when I heard Mr. Wickham's story of your dealings with him. How can you defend yourself on that subject?
And you take an eager interest in that gentleman's concerns.
Who that knows what his misfortunes can be can help feeling an interest in him?
His misfortunes, yes, his misfortunes have been great indeed.
And of your infliction. You have reduced him to his present state of poverty, and yet you can treat his misfortunes with contempt and ridicule.
And this is your opinion of me. My faults by this calculation are heavy indeed.
Ugh. So good. I'll stop it there because it says that we might have been disconnected from Facebook. There's having technical difficulties. So if anybody catches this, you can see the whole thing on YouTube. All of those scenes and everything that we were watching. But I just, that scene is so good. It's like, even if he might have like changed the order of like telling her how passionately he feels first before he went into all his objections, maybe that would have eased things a little bit. But I also really love that it's not just that the Wickham side of things. It's like she really has such strong feelings about what she feels that he did to Jane's chance at happiness, and like showing her her sisterly love that she has for her is a really sweet part of that, I think, as well.
I agree. And I just love his face when he like, why is she not like jumping for joy? Why is she not saying yes and being happy? Like, what is wrong with her?
Right. You wonder if he even like thought of the chance that she would say no. If he was just like, okay, I just got to get all these words out and then like I'm done and it's over. Like, wait, what?
I just reread the great line in Emma where it's toward the beginning of the book after Harriet has rejected Robert Martin. And so Emma and Mr. Knightley are arguing about that matter. And Mr. Knightley says, oh, she's more of a simpleton than I thought. And Emma's like, men always think that. They always think that a woman is just going to say yes because the question was asked. And so I think Austen explores that multiple times with various characters. And of course, Elizabeth and Darcy are an example here.
And even in her own life, examples of saying yes and maybe change your mind. Awesome. Well, I will give us a short wrap up tonight. Thank you to everyone that hung out with us the whole time. It was so much fun to watch through these together. And I'm sure we'll be doing it again in the future because this was just too much fun to not do at another time. Maybe we'll take some scenes and do some breakdowns. Let us know if there's any scenes you would like us to talk about or share. That would be a lot of fun as well to hear what you would enjoy seeing. Thank you to Chris for commenting and watching and hanging out with us. Lizette and Caroline was here with us. It was fun to have some people in the comments as well, letting us know what their thoughts were as we were watching. Thank you, Marigold and Mindy, as well, for hanging out with me tonight. I can't wait for next Wednesday. If you haven't been joining us on the regular, we're here every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time to talk about Austen, books, all the things. And we will catch you next week. Until then, bye.
Bye.